Hello everybody, and welcome back to episode number 34 now of Keep It Real. I've just figured out something new I didn't notice. These little windows do open. Give me a nice view of a bicycle. Yeah, you can kind of see into the distance. It's a bit of a pathetic window actually, isn't it? What's even the point? But I'm going to open them anyway. There's another little one I noticed in the bedroom. This is quite a cool one. Check on my little apple orchard as soon as I get out of the Lego bed. Anyway, we have a bit of a problem. We are, well, we're in the red. We are minus £581. First time we've ever gone minus in this series. Now, it's quite a serious thing, I guess. It's certainly not something we want to trend with. And we need to fix that problem now, because, hey, if I leave it go too much longer, I might have bailiffs knocking on the door or something. Don't particularly want that. Now, I've just, literally before pressing record, I've kind of had a bit of a brainstorm in my head. And actually, I don't know of an easy way to resolve it, if I'm honest with you, other than maybe a contract. Yeah, it's a bit of a challenging one. So these haven't quite produced the apples. This would have been great. So it's only 413 litres. Now maybe by the end of this episode we might have 2 pallets there potentially. It does have water, doesn't it? Yeah. Yeah. I wonder why one's green and the other one's orange. Same there. Why is one green and one is orange? That doesn't really make sense. But yeah, that doesn't help us now. To be honest, I'm not going to lie, part of me, oh there you go, might be a few quid there, in a branch, part of me does think, maybe we might have to start dipping into the cow food. We might have to sell a few bales, just to try and get ourselves, even, I suppose. Just to at least get through the day, I'm not sure. Anyway, in the meantime, let's just go through a few bits. Have you noticed anything different here? I'm hoping not. I really am hoping not. Because basically I've deleted this off camera and then replaced it, and I hope in the exact same place. Give or take a few millimeters here and there, I'm sure. But yeah, works pretty well. I've put all of the original ducts back in, but I'm not going to lie, it's kind of rounded the ducts back together now, so hopefully it will make sense when I jump in. So you can see we haven't got so many separate lines here now, we've only got the 3. So we've got the correct amount. That'll be in 12 actual grown ducks, 5 male ducklings and 18 overall female ducklings. They were all individually, I think some of them were a month old, some of them were 2 months old. It's just the way I had to do it. I didn't want to spend too long fixing the problem. But you will notice it is getting low actually, but the corn is no longer there. So at least we can now efficiently fill the whole thing with grain. So I had to do that. The fantastic part about it is it still recognises the existing egg pallet. So it's still kind of adding and filling that, which is amazing. So we're not going to get a load of randomly spawned pallets, which is good. So yeah, I'm happy with that. That had to be done. I've been talking about it for a little while. Now, just jump into the pause menu again. You will notice that the cows do accept silage now as well. So thank you again, Northern Family Farms, for kind of showing me how to do that. And you even typed up the exact code to put into the XML. I really appreciate that. It's probably taken you a little bit of time, and you are definitely between you and Sloth, you seem to be my personal mod advisors. And then of course you got Bendercat, who's kind of my personal, absolutely finding the best possible mods ever and transforming the series with them. So thank you very much, I do appreciate it. Also here, just very quickly, I just fixed this area, look. I just fixed it. No cost to us. That's not the reason we've gone minus. I just I just quickly fixed it before I pressed record, and I've made sure then that the balance was back to what it was. So we're £583 minus, but that's because of our loan anyway. Now I will just jump into there actually. So you know, we're doing good with the loans. We have got 2 loans, but they ain't as bad as I thought. So ignore the bottom one. That's the kind of, when you start from scratch, it always starts you with 200 grand loan. I just cleared that before I even started the series, so ignore that. This is what we've got currently. So I took out a £50,000 loan and then the £12,330 loan, which is a random one. Must have been the maximum I could get at the time. So I've only got just under 25 grand to pay off on the first main loan, and just over £10,000 to pay off on the second one. So actually, we're not too bad. We're not as bad as I thought. Now, if I click on take loan, we can, at this very moment in time, take out £7,679. Now, that seems to vary, I think, every episode. But that is there. That is there as an option. Now, potentially, we just take out enough of a loan to get us out of debt. That's the second option. And I don't think it would be unrealistic to do that. No, not at all. Now, the cows themselves, they've only produced 60 or 70 litres of milk between them. So, I don't know. Has the milk production died down a little bit? Maybe, you know, because I was coming back after kind of one episode and there's a few hundred litres in there. So maybe that wooden cow barn we had was kind of overproducing the milk. Maybe. One thing that we know for definite though is I need to get some more cows. That needs to be a priority. This thing can hold, I want to say 30, and we've got 2. Yeah, we do need to get some more when we can actually afford it, which isn't for a minute, that's for sure. Now, I left this area here, by the way, and I'm very glad I didn't place it in the last episode. And I didn't place it because I forgot. But actually, imagine if I did, we would be in real trouble. But I've got a little manure mod I've installed, just a little wooden one. I think I mentioned it already. That's just going to go there in that gap. But we are going to have to regularly empty that, you know. We're going to have to empty it. Did we buy this? We do own that. I wonder how much that is worth. Because that might be another option actually. Let's just sell that, because we need to upgrade that either way, don't we? Now, I think it's okay to have a look at prices and things. Obviously, the rules being you can't buy anything. You have to go to the shop, but I don't think there's any harm. See, you know, that's worth £1,000. That's the solution, I think. That is the instant solution. You will notice here, by the way, I've also kind of fixed my lash up of a landscaping job that I did here. So this is now perfectly ready for a nice straight wall to go here, which I will do. Right, we're going to sell that. We'll drive it to the shop. Also, it's going to be worth a tiny little bit more, isn't it? Which is fantastic. So let's do that. Let's not muck around, because in the time it's taken me just to kind of do some talking, plus I had a bit of a sneezing fit off camera, we're already now past 10 o'clock, which is no good. So, jump into this view quick. Might as well make it a little bit easier on myself. Yeah, I think I did alright with the duck pen there, the little enclosure. It's pretty much in the same place where it was before. It just solved that really annoying corn issue. Hopefully now we can continue this series without actually killing off any ducks. That fertilizer spreader really doesn't like being there. Don't know why. Okay, fantastic. Now, what we could do on the way back from the shop is stop off at the pub and have a quick look to see if there's any contracts. I would like to now. I feel I'm at a point where it's kind of right. We're an established business. We're no longer kind of a random person who's working for people with their equipment. I feel like now we should be doing contracts using our own equipment. So, yeah, that will limit us slightly on the contracts, which is good. The last thing I want to do is take on a absolutely ridiculous sized contract just to get myself out of trouble. So yeah, I think that's a good idea. So we're going to head to the shop, sell this trailer, and then we'll kind of go from there. We'll have a look in the used shop as well while we're there, you know. I do also need to check. I mean, I haven't used the man for a while, so I feel maybe I should use the man a little bit in this episode. But I do also need to check how the grass is progressing, because, oh, sorry mate, it's a bit of a blind spot there, isn't it? Cool. Grass really doesn't take long to grow. When did I plant it? I mean, I guess maybe only a month ago. Maybe just scraping into 2 months. I don't know. I want to say it was like episode 29. What did I say this was? 34. So maybe pushing its second month or almost 2 months. So that may well be in its first harvestable stage. Now, obviously you get a smaller amount of grass from that. You need to let it fully grow. But I do reckon we would be able to actually cut that and harvest a little bit of that grass already, potentially. I'm not waiting for him. Anyway, in the meantime, I hope everyone's well. I'm recording this on Tuesday evening, so probably about 2 hours after the previous episode has come out. So episode 33, we've just been chatting. Immediately finished that and watched Man United play football, and I'm not surprised, but they lost, which is typical. So I thought, you know, get rid of the frustrations. Let's do a little bit of recording to make up for it. Honestly, it really doesn't surprise me with them anymore. It really doesn't. Right, so I know that we've got to drop this about here. Be rude not to, wouldn't it? Let's try my same trick as last time. Bit of an angle. That didn't really work. Try again. Yeah, that was pathetic. That was pathetic. Okay. Right, anyway. Back to the real task. Cool. 1,109 that's worth. 1,109. So let's sell it. Because it's been frustrating me anyway. It has been annoying me. Right, we're not in the red. Woo! £523. We pretty much will be. If I was to skip through now to the next episode, pay all of our leasing costs, we'd be red again. So we need to make the most of this episode now. This is definitely going to be not a lot of progression. More like saving the farm kind of episode. Right, let's have a look in the shop. Okay, this is where we were yesterday. Nothing yet. That? Where did it go? Oh, okay, cool. God, I got scared then. As soon as I looked at it, it moved. Wow, £470. It's definitely not something we need right at this second, but £470. That's perfect for what we need eventually, isn't it? When we start looking at silage. I need to get that. What else have we got? See, that as well, I'm pretty sure that came up the other day. That's also a given, to be honest with you. What does it fit? A standard front loader? I think so. I'm pretty sure that's part of the same pack of the front loader we're using, actually. I do need to get something like that as well eventually. What else do we have here? I'm pretty sure this is the one that I'm using in Saskatchewan. I say using, I haven't gone back to that series for so long now, but it was certainly a version of that particular mod, maybe a slightly older version. No, you know, and I also mentioned a motorbike, but hey, I ain't going to be able to spend that sort of money, am I? Would have been quite cool though to get a motorbike. That would have been quite cool. But as was rightly said in the comments, I don't have a very good reputation with bikes. More so push bikes. I do tend to fall off and crash them quite a bit. Not personally, I can ride a bike personally, by the way. I mean in the game. Okay, right, we're done. Yeah. That rake. I can't, I want to buy it now before it disappears, but I can't. I just can't do it, and this is the issue with, the realistic issue with the shop, I guess. This is why you have to go back to the shop to buy things. I can't suddenly buy that and, oh, there it is there, look. That's the same one, isn't it? That is the exact same one. £838, you know. We're not going to get better than that. No, it is the identical one. Right. For the sake of the future of the series, I need to get £1,500 spare this episode. I just need to do that. Right, let's head to the pub. I'll tell you what, a motorbike would certainly be a bit easier, wouldn't it? We're already 11:32 in the game. This day's going quick. Won't be getting any fuel today, I can't afford it. It's funny, isn't it? We got this nice new fancy, really nice looking cow barn with just 2 cows in it. We thought we were making loads of progress. 2 cows in it. Got a house, no more rent to pay, making loads of progress. It's felt really, really good. And then she didn't look then, did she? I had a feeling she's just going to keep walking. Yeah, and then we start the following episode after making all that progression on a minus red figure. Yeah, it's just the way the series is going, I don't mind. I quite like that about this series. Even after all of these episodes, there's still a struggle. The struggle is definitely still real. Definitely. Right, let's have a look what the pub's got to offer. Okay, right, here we are. As usual, loads and loads and loads of bailing. Loads and loads of bailing. There's still the potential there to do the bailing, but I would quite like to start getting into the habit of using our own equipment. And we're not far off having all the equipment, you know. We've got the baler, we've essentially got bale grabs because we've got the trailer. We could potentially have a windrower because there's one in the shop. We need a mower and we need a tedder. Yeah. So we probably could do that off our own back. Now, cultivating, do you know, I don't feel like I've done a cultivating contract the whole entire series. We haven't, I'm sure of it. We have done some harvesting. What else have we got? And yeah, I'm not going to be doing ploughing. That's an easy choice, wasn't it? I think cultivating field number 38. Where is that? Field 38 must be here somewhere, surely. We've cultivated that before, actually. We certainly did one of these. Yeah, was it that one? I think it might have been that one. So we'll do it again, but this time we will use our own equipment. So let's just accept that without borrowing. Good. And we're going to have to make a trip back to the pub. To the pub? We're already at the pub. I've been drinking. Trip back to the shop. And see if we can lease ourselves a cultivator. I have got some nice looking kind of self-made mods enabled for cultivators. I've never used them, but they do look pretty good. So we should be able to do a long-term lease on one of those, I would have thought. And having a cultivator is actually probably something we're going to want to do anyway. Especially when we start getting into new fields, which I am keeping an eye on, by the way. There is a special deal at the minute. The auction at the minute is for, I want to say field 76, the one right at the bottom corner almost. And that field is a big field, and there's only 37 grand at the minute. So that's really, really cheap. Obviously, it's beyond our budget. But if one of the smaller fields comes up under auction, we could pick that up real cheap, you know. Really, really cheap. Right, anyway, let's get back to the shop. And then we'll have a look for cultivators. There we go. So mods naturally go to the end. There we go. So 2.1 meter, that £2,800. Oh, that's actually wider. 2.4 meter for £800. 2 meters for £400. That's very, very expensive, that one. For 3.5 it is wider, but that's quite expensive. What's the cheapest base game one? 3 meter or 15 grand. Jeez. Right, so it's between those two, I reckon. Now this thing's going to be pretty ancient, isn't it? Yeah. Only requires 18 horsepower, 2 meters wide, but apparently it's 3 tons. That's heavy. 2.4 requires more horsepower, but it only weighs 375 kilograms. How does that work? How does that work? I think it's got to be that one though, isn't it? Okay, right, I like the look of that. So to lease that is £40. Fantastic. Okay, great, right. Let's jump in the agri, head around to the back of the shop, and pick up our new lease to own, potentially, cultivator. Hopefully it isn't too small. It's difficult to imagine how wide a 2.5 meter cultivator is when you've got a tractor with such wide tyres. Don't know. I think this is probably going to look ridiculously small actually. Well, it doesn't look too bad. Doesn't look too bad. Right, let's line ourselves up, connect that up. I'm assuming there's no hoses or anything. We are going to have to raise it. Lovely. Right, let's head on to that field. So yeah, we've been there before. We've done a contract. I couldn't remember exactly what it was. I think it might have been cultivating. Maybe. Or it could have even been seeding. Not sure. But anyway, he must have been happy because he's re-employed us. Let's head down there. Right, here we are. We've definitely been here before. I remember parking the Hilux up here. Definitely. Right, so let's jump into this view. I'll probably just time lapse it rather than trying to do the whole cinematic thing. It's much easier to time lapse. We're not getting a warning, so it's definitely got to be the right field. And yeah, it's not doing too bad actually. It's this Fiat Agri's got some decent power, isn't it? So hopefully it's not going to take too long. I do hope not. Right, let's speed it up. I don't know, whack a bit of reggae on or something like that maybe. Concentrate on what I'm doing. I'll see you in a minute. Okay, this should be the last pass, I would have thought. It didn't actually take too long. Obviously for you, it's really quick. But for me, it wasn't too bad, actually. And this cultivator, to give it its due, does a good job. It's actually not a bad size. Right, we are finished, but we've got to get to the end anyway. So we'll finish the job almost properly. We've missed a couple of little bits, but nobody's perfect. Right, there we go. Let's keep going. Let's just get those last 2 bits. Brilliant. Okay, I mean that wasn't a bad job. Not a bad job at all. Certainly giving us a bit more money. And we will keep hold of the cultivator. I'm pretty sure we're going to need it, I think. Pretty sure we're going to need it. Now, I guess what do? I just go straight back to the pub, don't I? Haven't really got any other options, to be honest with you. Maybe in the meantime, maybe there's another cultivating job up here. Now, there is one thing that I want to do, and I think it's going to be quite a good little touch. That kind of absurd looking, I mean, it's clearly some sort of water tank, isn't it, next to the house. It doesn't actually function, doesn't actually work as a water trigger. However, let's use it that way. Why not? So what I'm going to do is place the tap, which allows you to use the hose pipe to clean vehicles, because I'm getting quite a bit of stick about cleaning tractors, I'm not going to lie. I always tend to... Oh, I thought he was going to put it across us then. I always tend to get stick for cleaning tractors because I just don't clean them. Yeah, so we can use it as just a standard hose pipe, nothing fancy, nothing like a pressure washer. But also we can use it as a water trigger point, which is free. Now I don't normally like the water trigger points that are free, because it takes away the whole need to drive to somewhere like our little ford there in the river to get water. However, obviously put a little spin on it, a realistic rule. So we can only use that big water, that gravity fed water tank, if it's been raining. I think that's a good rule. It's fair enough. I mean, you know, we placed the house the end of the last episode, and it hasn't rained since, so that water tank wouldn't have any water in it, and it would dry out. So if it's been raining in the episode or the episode before, I think we can use that to fill whatever we need to fill, which ultimately is just the apple orchard now, to be honest. But I think that's a good rule. What it does mean is we'll have to decide if it starts to rain, maybe it's worth making the trip back to the farm just to fill them up. Save the hassle of kind of driving all the way to that river. Anyway, jump into contracts. And there it is, look. So collect that £852, no deductions. How good is that? Not having deductions. Amazing. So we're definitely out of the red, and as it stands we can pay our own way with leasing costs, which is great. Doesn't look like there's anything else there we can do though. For a minute, we are pretty much done from that side of things. Anyway, now, it's probably not the most entertaining episode so far, but, you know, this is all part of the series, isn't it? This is all part of the survival, I guess, the living life and struggling through day by day. No, cool. I want to reverse into a car with a big cultivator on the back. That wouldn't have been good, would it? So what I'm going to do, we'll cut through our friends in the potato factory. We'll just stop by and have a little look at how the grass is doing. Genuinely, I do think it probably can be harvested already. We're not going to do it so soon, because that would just be silly. Okay, here we are. Here we are. We'll keep on going. This is going to kind of be the very small off-site yard from the main farm. This area here, for definite. We do need to, can't be worrying about it now, but we do need to spend a little bit of money here and transform this little area. But yeah, I mean, it already looks good. What's it say? Yeah, look, it is. It's ready to harvest. And I think this is the kind of the first stage of harvest. It's certainly not full length, is it? It's still quite light. But actually, now that it's grown a lot, I think we're going to get a decent amount of grass from this, you know. This is going to yield pretty well. Yeah, this was definitely worth the effort. Definitely worth the effort. And everything there at the bottom is pretty much perfect. Nitrogen, for some reason, nitrogen is okay and not perfect. I don't know why. We did fertilise it, I'm sure we did. But anyway, amazing. Right, I just wanted to confirm that. Now, I do feel... I haven't driven this for a while. Let's drive the man. Actually, the man is doing better from a fuel point of view anyway. Yeah, definitely. Someone did say to me the other day, and you are right, that this front loader kind of looks ridiculous on the man. It does look ridiculous on the man. It doesn't look as ridiculous as the in-game ones though, so it's a bit of a hard one with this man. It isn't really a proper front loader that fits it. I am tempted actually to load up the, I want to say it's a John Deere mod that has a front loader with it. See whether or not that would connect to this, because if I change the colour of it, actually it would probably suit quite well. A bit more old-fashioned. Yeah, that could be pretty good. Now, I have made one slight blunder. I should have took the weight off. Yeah. What I'm doing, my plan, we're heading to the shop and we're going to buy that rake. We're going to buy that rake. We need to get that rake. We can't miss out on that rake. But yeah, maybe I should have took the took the weight off first. Oh dear. Right, we'll see if it connects. Okay, right. Let's head into the shop. I do hope it is still there. I honestly do. That must be, surely. There, £470. Honestly, you can't go wrong. What is this? Ah, you know what? I've just realised it's a tether. I bet someone has been probably saying that and shouting that at this pre-recorded episode. Yeah, it's a tether. I don't want a tether. I don't want a tether. I don't need to make more hay. I want to be making silage. Right, forget it. That's no good. I don't want it. I do not want that at all. Right, wow. That was a waste of time, wasn't it? It was a waste of a trip. So a lot more appeared in the meantime, but it's not what we want. It's definitely not what we want. Now, just while I'm on that though, let's have a look. If that is the tether version, then the windrower version, I assume, is the same price at full price. Okay. Windrower version shows up as red. Okay. Alright then. We need to keep an eye out and see if that appears in the shop. Definitely. Well, that's annoying. That is a little bit annoying. Okay, right, well, let's make a drive back. We'll switch tractors for the day this time round. We'll take the man back to the yard. And, yeah, I think we'll certainly place that water tap that I was talking about. That just seems like something we need to do. Okay, here we are. So, yeah, I don't know how we're looking for time. This one could be the shortest Keep It Real episode yet. Don't know. Certainly the shortest episode for a little while. But this was a very important episode. It really was. Not a lot has changed. However, we have done a lot of much needed damage prevention. We'll also give this a trial run. Yeah, look, this kind of carport is huge, isn't it? From the outside, it looks quite small, but actually, a squeeze there. Yeah, that's pretty good. We can get that man in there nice and easy. Lovely. Right, so I'm just going to place this tap, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Now that we have a little bit of spare money, so I'm pretty sure they normally go into tools. Yeah, there we go. So, I just want to kind of mount it somewhere that looks sort of realistic. And which way is the front way? Like that. Somewhere like that, I think, would be good. What happens if I free place it? What's the difference? Not a lot. Okay, there we go. And funnily enough, I don't know why, it was definitely straight when I was looking at it. Now it's kind of like tipped over. I mean, it kind of makes it look even older, which sort of suits, I suppose. It doesn't. It definitely looks straight when I placed it, though. I don't know what's going on there. So yeah, I can. There you go. Look, use it just as a standard hose pipe. At least we can give a rinse off to some of our tractors. But I'll need to be good. Stick to the rule. As it stands, in theory, there is no water in that kind of gravity system. Absolutely no water at all, because it has not rained. It has not rained. However, we are approaching November. We're approaching the months when it will start to rain, I hope, so we can start building up that. I just need to get some I need to get some tractors cleaned and some equipment cleaned. It's shocking. Trying to play realistically, I haven't cleaned a single piece of equipment since I started. I've been relying on the rain. All of it's been relying on the rain. 449 litres. So, yeah, I reckon this is probably a short and sweet episode. But next episode we're going to have 1,000 litres worth of apples we can sell if we're desperate. We've definitely got enough money to get us through the remainder of this month. There's no doubt about that. Our leasing costs, they're really not too bad. Potentially, we're going to be using that soon. We might be using that very soon. We'll just do the final check-in with these guys. So, 112 litres of milk they've produced now. It's definitely slower, but I can't complain. It's probably a bit more real. They're quite noisy in here. You think they would like it. It also looks like they're eating up all the straw. Please don't eat all the straw. I do need to place that manure pit as well, don't I? How much did I say that was? Let's have a look. Oh, this is the bunker I was saying about, by the way, as well. Which one is the one for silage? There you go. £2,500. Obviously, it looks massive here, doesn't it? But if I go over to this field here, about where I wanted to place it initially, still fits. I think that works quite well. Just like that. Definitely. And that's a lot better than 17,500. That is for sure. Anyway, where's that damn manure? There it is. Right, look at it. It's tiny. It's cute, isn't it? Cute little manure pit. We don't have enough money to buy it now, which is a shame. It would have been nice to start getting some manure going, but that would certainly fit in there without too much of a problem. Potentially, I could even put another one in the opposite direction. Yeah, like that over here. Then I'd have 80,000 litres. That would be good. Or I'll just build a wall and we'll manually scoop it and just dump it into a separate pile. I think that would work. Definitely. Some of these are really good though. Oh, do you know what? It's very hard to find like a manure heap or anything in the silo section that allows you to freely place like that. Fantastic. So if anyone's wondering, that's the old manure heap pack. I might be considered by that. I might be tempted. Yeah. Holds twice as much and it just allows you to... I mean, that's cool. I can place that up like that. I quite like that, see? That looks good. Interesting. Very interesting. Wow, there you go. Right, anyway. I'm just talking for the sake of talking now, aren't I? Well, that's it for now, I think. So, thank you very much for watching, and until the next time, cheers and gone.